What's up? Welcome back to Psychic Vacuum. I'm Eric. A little bit of a switch up from my last few videos. I have kind of, I had a plan to do kind of what's spinning or what I've been listening to video every week, and then add some other videos in between, but I just haven't had the time. So I think what I'm gonna do is just try to do a video a week, and just do whatever I feel like covering at that time. Uh, Maybe it'll be something a little bit more interesting sometimes, or maybe I'll just revert back to what I've been listening to because I'm always listening to music. That's kind of an easy format to go back to, for me. So, yeah, this one is going to be a collection update. Meant to have this out earlier this week, and another what's spinning kind of thing now, but too bad. You only have to suffer through me once this week. So, um, all right. I got a big pile of stuff here. I mean, man, I don't even know how long it's been since I did a collection update. I did one with Jeff over on gas masks and hand grenades, maybe last spring, March or April, maybe. Could be wrong. I drank too many beers. I don't think I was making any sense by the end of that, but um, yeah, that's the last one I did. So I've bought a lot of stuff since then. I'm not gonna show it all. This is basically stuff I've picked up in the last, you know, 2, 3 months. I haven't been going crazy, to be honest. I was picking up more stuff before that for a while, but I've backed off a little bit, but still, you know, it's hard to resist the temptation of good prices on music that you love, especially stuff that you can't stream anywhere. I've got a few of those, or stuff that's just cheaper to listen to. Spoiler alert, I have a DVD as well, but like, yeah, stuff that you can listen to or watch uh for less money if you buy it physically than if you buy it digitally. No brainer. Absolute no brainer for me. Um, all right. I mean, first of all, I guess I could shout out. I think people in the States have Spencer's as well, but we got Spencer's up here too. I usually don't go to the mall when I'm in the city. I mean, we got a Sunrise Records there. I might bring them up a little bit later. They usually don't have a lot of stuff that I'm interested in, or if they do, it's all new stuff, and it's all kind of a little overpriced for the most part. Um, but a few of my friends were going to the mall. I figured I'd tag along, so we ended up going to Spencer's, and I did find some pretty good deals on t-shirts. So this one was, you know, 15 bucks Canadian. One of my favorite movies, so I mean, hard to pass up. And I'm drinking a 6 Mile Stout from Trench. I'm not a beer reviewer, so um, it's good. I like it a lot. The local brewery to me, I mean, meaning it's only 2 hours away if the weather is perfect. Um, like my local record store. So 6%, so nothing crazy, but it's a really good stout. It's got a kind of a perfect mix of um, sweetness and bitterness. It's very malty, but it's still got that kind of bite to it. I don't know, just good stuff. I always like supporting local local businesses, whatever they're doing. If it's something I'm interested in, absolutely. All right. Um, I don't have much vinyl to show off today. Uh, we're just gonna get through that first. Yeah, these are gonna be in chronological order, but I'm just gonna get through the vinyl first and then move on to CDs. Excuse me, since I got more of those. Um, yeah, I know I showed this in a briefly in a what's spinning video. And of course on the deep dive that I did with Jeff and Luis a couple few weeks ago now, maybe a month ago. Um, Camel, if you want to listen to us nerd out about Camel for a few hours, go check out Gas Masks and Hand Grenades channel on YouTube. It's got all kinds of awesome videos over there. Love Jeff. But yeah, pick this one up before the stream. Camel Mirage. Man, one of my favorite prog rock albums of all time. It's intricate, it's heavy, but it's catchy and melodic and just memorable. I mean, I don't know what more you could want out of music from this, honestly. Um, even people that aren't into progressive rock could get into this. I think if you want to get into prog rock at all, this is kind of a perfect place to start. Um, you know what? I'm gonna just pull out their first album as well while I have it here, because man, this album as well, the debut. This is 1973, I believe, and this is 74. Um, British band. Um, yeah, just one of the best bands to do the style, honestly. They never forgot about making a great song, you know? As much as I love progressive rock, I'm a huge prog nerd, but sometimes a lot of those bands can go overboard in terms of just trying to show off, and it just turns into noise or wankery, you know? Oh, listen to what I can do kind of kind of stuff. Which, once in a while it's okay, but that's not what I'm looking for. I mean, even those bands, even though I love a lot of them, those aren't the parts of their music that I really gravitate to. I love the more emotive kind of melodic sections or the heavy sections or something that evokes an emotion in me other than annoyance, if you know what I mean. And man, this album, especially, it has everything. It has melodies that will stick in your head for eternity. It's got heavy parts, absolutely. It's got technical wizardry, but it's hidden within great songs. They never try to show off. Man, just if you want to get into prog rock, or if you're already into prog rock and you haven't checked out Camel, definitely check these out. Um, this is a man. I almost forgot to. This is a collection update, so I should talk about what pressings these are. This is a 1992 remaster by Andy Latimer himself, the guitarist. Um, Interestingly, it doesn't even have the track listing on the back, which I thought was kind of weird. There's just like nothing on there. Um, Weird cover art too. I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I guess it's just a camel locomotive. I, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but this sounds great, man. I blasted this on a big stereo not too long ago, and it sounds fantastic. Um, Got some liner notes in here. Nothing too crazy, but I've seen CDs with a lot less. to be honest. So, yeah, you got lyrics and everything in here, credits and whatnot. So, yeah, I would like to have this on vinyl at some point, but and while I'm at it, I mean, a little complaint I have, to be honest, is I don't know. It seems these days vinyl is just, I guess it's the popularity of it. But, and of course, the manufacturing cost and whatnot. But I mean, I paid 45 bucks for this on Discogs. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It really doesn't show up, but it does have a crease. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Um, there you can kind of see it up here. But the corner was creased when I got it, so it's not really new. By the time I received it, it was when I ordered it. I don't blame the seller. Um, but man, these records where you pay $45 Canadian, so that's what, I don't know, 37 probably, 35 anyway, American. And maybe you get this one I got lucky. I got an a printed inner sleeve. Wow. I mean, it's still cool, you know, but there's no lyrics, there's no insert, there's no photos, there's no poster, I mean, that's it, you know? 45 bucks. And I had this same experience buying King Crimson Discipline as well recently. It's like, yeah, it's on 200-gram vinyl. I get that. I mean, it's gonna sound great, and this does sound great. But for 45 bucks, can you not include like one insert? It's like one piece of paper that you print some stuff on, right? You maybe pay somebody a few hours to lay stuff out. I don't know. It would be nice, you know, to get something. And all right, moving on. Rant almost over. Not quite, because this one, oh, actually, no, I lied. I will go back to the King Crimson real quickly. That one just had a white inner sleeve, nothing on it. Here, I'll just pull it out. Wasn't gonna do this. Where is it in here? Okay, here we go. Here we go. There it is. Apologies. But man, $45, you know? And yeah, it's nice. It's brand new, 200-gram vinyl, but I'm a liar. Okay. It does have a printed inner sleeve, but it's just an advertisement for all the other stuff you can buy. You know, what about the lyrics? At least, or some pictures of the band while they're recording the album or something. You know, if I'm gonna get an inner printed sleeve, I don't want just an advertisement of all the other stuff I can buy, personally. Anyway, sorry for the rant, especially so early in the video. If anybody's still with me after this, thank you and apologies. Anyway, all right. This came with the Camel, Thin Lizzy, Black Rose, one of my another one of my favorite bands of all time, along with Camel and King Crimson. This is an interesting band for me because um, I absolutely love them. They have so many amazing songs, but I don't know if they have an album that's an absolute 10 out of 10 for me. Every album, and it's one of those bands who were cranking out an album a year, if not more. Uh sometimes sometimes two albums a year back in the 70s, as well as touring. And you know, sometimes the albums suffered from that as a result of that. And a lot of these albums have one or two songs I'm not crazy about. Like this one's got Do Anything You Want To. It's a really good song. Toughest Street in Town, another really good song. S&M, it's okay. Waiting for an Alibi is amazing. Sarah is great. Got to Give It Up is amazing. Get Out of Here is really good. With Love, fantastic. Roy Sheen Dub, the closer, aka Black Rose, absolute amazing. I mean, proto folk metal in a way, fantastic. Gary Moore is on this album. Yeah, not a 10 out of 10 album all the way through for me, but some of the songs on here are just so good. So good. I keep not saying what these are. This is like the actual pressing. 2014 Mercury Records, this one says. It sounds great. I think it might be 180 gram. I'm not sure. It does come with a printed inner sleeve, so that's cool. Still doesn't have lyrics, but I mean you can always Google those, I guess. I'm just being a dick. But yeah, it's still cool to see all the photos and everything. And the camel, I forgot to mention as well. That is I believe it's a Deca Durham press. This is, I think, 200 gram or 180. It also sounds great, you know. All these newer records, for the most part, most of them sound great. So that's good. All right. Okay. Last record of the night. Tears for Fears, The Hurting. Debut album. When did this come out? 1983? I think that's what it says on the back of here. Maybe 82, 82, 83, somewhere in there. Some of the best pop rock of the decade or of all time, maybe. This is an original. I think. Let me double check. This is actually kind of a interesting one because it's on Vertigo, which was the not the main label this was released on, I don't think. Uh, man, I'm so bad for this. I never look up stuff in advance, which I should. Just wasting everybody's time. Sorry. Uh, oh man. Yeah. This is this is just a great album though. I mean, you got Mad World on here, Pale Shelter, Memories Fade, The Prisoner, Start of the Breakdown. So many, I mean, every song on here is great, honestly. It was originally released. This isn't an original. On Vertigo, Canadian pressing. Um, yeah, I don't think it was on Vertigo. Uh, in most places, could be wrong. Uh, yeah, no, it was released on Mercury. In most locations, Europe anyway. Europe and the U.S. looks like. Yeah, so this is kind of a weird thing to be on Vertigo. This one also did come with the original inner sleeve, so that's pretty cool. You look at that, you get a band photo and the lyrics. Wow, they knew what they were doing even back in 1983. Um, it's black vinyl, of course. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, they must have measured these things back in the day, but it's not 180 gram or whatever. But sounds fantastic. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it do 180 gram, 200 gram pressings actually sound better, or do are they just less susceptible to warping and stuff? Or I don't know. What do you think? Because I have old records from the 70s that are thin as hell and they sound great. I don't know. It's one of those things. I would personally rather maybe spend, you know, have my money go towards, as long as it sounds great. Of course, that's the most important thing, but maybe I could have a little bit thinner record because I mean I take care of my stuff. I store them vertically. I don't have them near a heat source, whatever. I don't need them to be bulletproof. I want them to sound great, and I would like to maybe get something else, a little bonus cool thing in there if I'm spending 45 bucks personally. But, you know, it is what it is. All right. So, onward to CDs, which I don't know. I don't know if they're my preferred format in this day and age. They're easier to come by. They're cheaper. Um, they usually sound good. Not all of them, of course, but you know what? I'm gonna go out of context here and um, I think I showed one of these in my What's Spinning not too long ago, and I got them at the same place. So it's a 2 for 20 deal, I think. So $10 each, basically, from Sunrise Records, a store in the mall that I barely ever go to. Man, I always find one CD that's like 2 for 15 or 2 for 20 kind of deal. And then I spend the rest of the time, I find that first CD within 5 or 10 minutes. And then I spend another half hour, 45, trying to find another one with the same 2 for 15 or 2 for 20 sticker on it to, so that I can get the deal. And, you know, there's been a couple times I've just walked out. I couldn't find one that I wanted that had that sticker on it. So I just, you know, if I got to pay $20 for the singular CD, ah, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna head to the actual used record store where CDs are $3, you know? Anyway, um, enough complaining. I'm doing a lot of complaining for some reason in this video, but you know, there's a lot of things to complain about in this world. So I'm gonna try to stop for the rest of this. So just focus on the music. Um, these were the 2 for 20, I want to say. So $10 each, so not too bad. The very first Supertramp album. Um, I'm a pretty big Supertramp fan, honestly. Man, I'm already at 24 minutes here. Damn. Try to speed this up here, but yeah, I'm a big Supertramp fan up until I don't think I've heard anything since Famous Last Words. I've only heard that once, but man, from this up up through Breakfast in America. Man, just such a great band. Such an ear for hooks, as well as another band, kind of like Camel in a way. They don't sound anything like Camel, but the way they just add complex elements or interesting instrumentation, um, technicality into just great songs in ways that you don't notice them unless you're listening for them, you know. Um, you take you take an album like Breakfast for America, and there's a lot of kind of complex stuff going on there, but you don't notice it at first. You just hear great songs, and then you go back for a second listen and you hear another layer of what they're doing. You go back for a third listen and you go, "Oh, I didn't hear that before." You can keep going back and hear different things than you heard at first. This album is a little bit different um because it's kind of more in just a, I don't want to say generic, but kind of a just a prog rock vein. 1970 this came out, um, and it you can definitely tell they were listening to a lot of King Crimson, maybe some Yes as well. Um, yeah, this doesn't have the layers that their later 70s, early 80s albums did, but this still has great songs on it. I mean, you have It's a Long Road. Um, if I had to pick a song to check out off of this, I would say maybe I'm a Beggar would probably be the place to go. Um, you got Try Again, which is really catchy for part of it, and then it goes off into all kinds of weird experimental territory. It's kind of their like Moonchild, if you know the first King Crimson album. But yeah, just I don't know. This album kind of grabbed me the first time I heard it, and I've always really liked it since. It's not a masterpiece or anything, but it's still absolutely worth hearing, and not an album many people listen to. I mean, I think the run from Crime of the Century up through Breakfast in America is kind of where a lot of Supertramp fans kind of stick to. But this first album is definitely worth checking out. And then the other 2 for 20 deal I got was Mastodon, Blood Mountain. Another awesome album. I mean, what do you call these guys? Sludge metal, prog metal. There's some almost avant-garde stuff going on in this album. This is probably their weirdest one. Um, you got what? At least 3 or 4 vocalists on this album, on different songs. Sometimes two on one song. Crazy good riffs. It's heavy as hell at times. It goes off on really weird tangents. It's got beautiful atmospheric moments, super melodic in places, super crazy and weird in other places. I I love this band. I love this album. If you're into into weird stuff, weird metal, prog metal, definitely check that out. All right. Uh, Going back to 1976, Jean-Michel Jarre with Oxygene. Uh, Man, one of my favorite electronic albums, I would say. I don't think I would really call this ambient. It's kind of more, I guess, progressive electronic kind of stuff. Uh, it moves through a lot of different moods. Um, I mean, it's basically you got Oxygen part 1 through 6, so it's kind of they're all interlinked, but they all have different kind of moods to them as well. Um, I remember hearing part 4, I think it was, even back in elementary school. My teacher had a bunch of music on the computers at school, and I first time I got an MP3 player, I loaded a bunch of that stuff on there, and that was on there. I remember hearing that and just kind of being, I don't know, felt like it took me to another world, sort of, in a way. And this album kind of just does that. Um, it feels like a real journey from start to finish. It's one of those ones that you kind of have to just listen to as a whole. I mean, I would say that for a lot of electronic albums. I would say that for most albums. I'm an album guy. I'm an album listener, you know, as opposed to songs. Sometimes if I'm driving for 20 minutes, I'll just put on some songs on shuffle, but in general, I love listening to albums, and this is a perfect album experience. Love that cover too. I used to have this on vinyl. Um, I got rid of it in the big purge I did probably 4 years ago. I don't know why I did that. It's like, oh, if if a record doesn't sound absolutely perfect, I'm gonna get rid of it. So I sold like, I don't know, probably 150 records that I had. Um, and I still to this day I go, oh yeah, I have that. I'm gonna throw that on. Oh right, no, I sold it. So don't sell stuff unless you actually really think you're never gonna want to listen to it again because it sucks. All right, moving chronologically still. Um, switching it up a bit in terms of genre here. Moving into metal territory. Destruction. Now this is a double double feature here. We got the Sentence of Death EP and their debut album Infernal Overkill. I mean, German thrash band. I forgot to mention Jean-Michel Jarre, if you couldn't tell, he's from France. Mastodon from the US. I totally, man, did not talk about any of the last three pressings of any of these albums. I'm kind of figuring this out as I go along, but so apologies to anyone watching this if you're a real um, physical format kind of nerd. I'm not to a huge extent. I do absolutely think some pressings of certain things are better than others. I will say I have listened to everything here, and none of them sound terrible. They all sound pretty good. I got to do some EQing on my amp when I switch to a different album, of course. But I all I managed to make all these sound pretty good through headphones anyway. I have roommates and stuff, so I can't just blast it through speakers all the time. But um, yeah, man, back to Destruction. Um, one of the legendary German thrash bands from the 80s. I mean, these guys are one of the big four, I guess you would say, along with Sodom, Kreator, and Tankard of the German thrash sound. You got a lot of other great bands from that scene as well, of course, but these guys were really early as well in that scene, and I would say they were probably the tightest out of the really early stuff. You listen to really early Sodom, especially, and then early Kreator as well. It's just like everyone is playing as fast as they possibly can, and then they somehow like end up in the same place eventually. you know, I mean, you listen to the first Sodom album or In the Sign of Evil, it's sloppy as hell, and that's great in a certain way. I mean, I when I'm in the mood for that kind of stuff, put that on and it's awesome. But these guys really had uh especially in the guitar riffing, there's a really tight, precise kind of tone to the guitars. Really, I don't want to say trebly, but they've got a real bite to them. Um, and especially on this EP, I mean, this was 84. This came out 1984. This compilation is on SPV as well. I don't know if you can probably see it on video there. It's got some a bit of water damage, nothing too major. So I'm not super concerned. It's not like the booklet's all stuck together or anything like that. So, you can open this up. I mean, again, it's just an advertisement for all the other albums that you can buy on the label, but, it's still, I didn't pay too much money for this, so I'm pretty happy to have this. And yeah, this, this early Destruction stuff, especially, it's like, I love this era of extreme metal because this is undeniably intense, but especially in terms of vocals, like I mean, who else was doing vocals this extreme at the time? You had um, Quorthon from Bathory, Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost, Kronos from Venom, I guess. But other than that, 1984, I mean, Tom Araya, I guess. Yeah, I will say also this album, one of the best debuts of a thrash metal band. I know Heavy Metallurgy did a show maybe 6 months ago now. Best thrash debuts. They did a bracket. That was a super entertaining, awesome show. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But I don't know if I would. This placed very highly, and I wasn't surprised. I think personally, I would say I might put Show No Mercy by Slayer over it. That might be my favorite debut thrash album of all time, but this is up there for sure. And one thing that's cool about these guys is the riffing, especially on these albums, this early stuff. It's almost like, and back to my earlier point, I'm going in circles here. Sorry for rambling. Um, but I love this era of extreme metal because you have the sheer intensity of this stuff. They're playing as fast as they can. They're trying to be extreme as they possibly can, but you can still hear the influence of straight up heavy metal, 80s heavy metal. I mean, a lot of the riffing on here is just, 80s metal riffs, Nawabum riffs, just sped up as fast as they could possibly go. you know so I love that about this. There's still an element of melody and catchiness to these songs, and yeah, I think some extreme metal here and there just gets too extreme at times, and it kind of loses that memorability. But yeah, all right, sticking with German thrash, Kreator, Pleasure to Kill. Man, what do you say? What do you say about this album? I mean, subjectively, this might be my favorite thrash album of all time. I don't know. It's hard to say. That's almost impossible to choose. But it's got to be in the top 5 at least. Um, and objectively, this is one of the most ferocious albums you will ever hear. I don't care. I don't care about, you know, sure, there are more there are bands, albums that are more heavy, that are more brutal, that are faster. But this is just so intense. So intense. Like I said, ferocious, man. Bloodthirsty. I mean, sonically, look at the cover. Sonically, this is what that album wants to do to you. It just wants you, it wants to rip you into little pieces. And it succeeds if you let it. You have to resist with all your might. And that's how this is one of those albums where you put it on and you come out the other side feeling more powerful, feeling stronger than you did when you put it on because you survived this. You know, this is it's ah, it's just such an absolute ripping tribulation of sonic torment in the best way possible. I don't know, man. This is just and this is a reissue on Noise and Sanctuary. When is this from? Man, I suck at this. Again, I apologize. Let's see. This is from. Come on, load. This is from. Doesn't say a year. All right. Well, oh well. It's on Noise, which is the original label. Does include the Flag of Hate EP as well. So that's pretty cool. Um, Pretty decent booklet in here. You got some liner notes, you got all the lyrics, you got pictures of the band, you know. I mean, look at these guys. They're all just teenagers too at this point. Maybe early 20s, but like DRI shirt, awesome. I mean, man, to be able to write an album when you're in your late teens that people are still talking about, what is it? Almost 40 years? This album will be 40 years old next year. Crazy. Crazy. And then this one, probably my second favorite Kreator album. I listened to this once years ago and Extreme Aggression. I didn't even say the name of it, but it didn't click with me the first time I heard it, but going back to it earlier this year, um after hearing Marty from Heavy Metallurgy talk about it endlessly, um yeah, it rules, man. Not a great cover, but you know, the music is what matters. And this album, I will say, this is way better produced than Pleasure to Kill. Pleasure to Kill is just raw and primal, which fits the what they're going for. But this one is more precise, more I don't want to say clinical because that has a bad um, connotation sometimes. Again, this one has lyrics and whatnot. This is another noise pressing, um, basically just lyrics in the booklet there. This one is again, it may not say the year. I'm just looking these up on Discogs. Yeah, no year. I don't know. It's a reissue. So was Pleasure to Kill. But might pick might pick these up on vinyl at some point. I think I would like to have them on vinyl. Curious how they would sound. Because vinyl does sound different than CDs. And if stuff was mastered for vinyl originally, it tends to sound weird on CDs and vice versa as well. So, but yeah, this is just another absolute thrash masterpiece. It's a little slower Not that that's saying much, because this is insane, but it's a little bit slower, more methodical, but it gives the riffs a little more room to breathe, and they're so intricate. The riffs on here are so intricate, well written. The songs are memorable. Millie's vocals are still caustic. I don't know. Just great stuff. All right, moving over to some doom metal. Got Saint Vitus. This is a compilation of uh the Walking Dead EP and Hallow's Victim, which is their second album. This has Scott Reegers on vocals still, both of these releases. I I was a little hesitant to pick this up because I mean, for one, it's really low budget. This is on SST Records, which is basically the only place to get St. Vitus stuff because I guess they have the rights to all their material. There you got the original artwork. Hallow's Victim here, and the Walking Dead EP up there. Um, I was yeah, like I said, I was a little hesitant to pick this up because they actually switch up the track listing quite a bit, and um, you're not going to be able to see it on here. I don't know why I'm showing that, but um, yeah, I don't know. So you can't really listen to either of these things in the order it was originally released in, unless you like program your CD player weirdly, if you're able to do that, or if you load it onto an MP3 player or phone and then move things around. It's just like you can't put in the CD and just listen to. I wish it was like, the Hallow's Victim album and then the Walking Dead EP after it. But no, they decided to throw things all over the place. So, I don't know. But you know what? It was way cheaper than buying either of those on any format. And you also have a version of Look Behind You uh, with Scott Reegers on vocals, which was previously unreleased. They released that, I want to say, on maybe uh, Born Too Late. It was one of the Wino albums anyway. So there you got a cool photo of the band back in the day, man. Dave Dave Chandler over here with his insane hair. Just very cool. Love these guys. One of my favorite doom metal bands for sure. All right. Back to some more extreme shit. Obituary, Cause of Death, their second album, 1992, I want to say. Oh, 1990. My bad. Sorry, Obituary. Um, I gotta admit, I've only heard the first three Obituary albums, but I love them. I love those first three albums. Do need to check out some more of their stuff one of these days, but the first two are still my absolute favorites. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of those. It's just, it's like Celtic Frost taken to the next logical, or taken to its logical conclusion, or the next logical step in its evolution. And if you look up here, there's Celtic Frost up on my wall. So I'm a big fan. One of my favorite bands, and yeah, Obituary just kind of took what Celtic Frost did and took it into a pure death metal context. They brought in some fast tempos, some more virtuosic playing. Um, I mean, this album has frickin' James Murphy on it. This one is actually an OG CD copy, which is pretty cool. I got a really good deal on this. It's got a little tiny bit of water damage on the back. You probably can't even see it on the camera. You can barely even see it in real life. I mean, I got a killer deal on this. It sounds amazing, man. Oh, this is like probably the first thing I have ever bought on original CD as far as death metal goes. I mean, these things are not easy to come by these days. These original like road racer stuff from the early 90s, the Morris Sound albums and whatnot. I mean, this is legendary stuff. So I'm super happy to have this. I mean, fuck yeah, check out that Sepultura Beneath the Remains shirt. These guys knew what was up. Napalm Death, Godflesh, yeah. But man, just a such a great album. Legendary death metal band, death metal album. Infected, Body Bag, Chopped in Half. They do a cover of Circle of the Tyrants on here by Celtic Frost. I, turn. I mean, yeah, you got song titles like Chopped in Half as well as Turned Inside Out. I mean, what more do you need to say? You know what you're gonna get on this. And if you don't, fucking listen to it. It's great. All right, moving forward a few years, 1996. Although this is a reissue, this is from 2017 on Fallen Angels Productions. Original album came out in 1996, Sabbat, The Dwelling. From Japan, don't not to be confused with Sabbat from the UK, who also put out two amazing thrash albums in the 80s. Um, these guys are the Japanese band. They have a ton of albums. Don't even get me started on the EPs. They got I don't even know how many EPs and live albums and stuff they have, but this is the first album I ever heard by them because I'm a prog nerd and I was very intrigued by the fact that this has one song, which is basically an hour long. And they're like a black and thrash band, hugely inspired by Venom and Motorhead and that kind of stuff. Bathory, of course. But man, they really pull it off on here. The transitions between riffs, this thing just flows so well. It does not feel an hour long. It feels like it's probably half an hour. Um, and Very glad to have this. The original cover art is kind of more of this color palette, but on this artwork, it's very hard to find an original copy of this. Uh, it's hard to find copies of this in general, to be honest. I was happy I found one in Canada, to be honest. It's a pretty good reissue, honestly. It's got a lot of, you know, lyrics and stuff in here as well as artwork. I feel like there's a few quotes from the band and stuff in here as well. I just got this not too long ago, so I haven't actually read this yet, if I'm being completely honest, but yeah, very cool stuff and a absolutely fantastic album. If you want to hear one of the absolute best um epic tracks in metal, definitely check this album out because there's a very small handful of bands who have released an hour long piece of music that's one continuous thing, and there's even fewer who have actually pulled it off really well. Um, the rest of these guys' albums are just, they have some long songs here and there, but they're much more concise for the most part. Um, but yeah, this is kind of their magnum opus, in my opinion, and honestly, not a bad place to start for the band in general. So yeah, absolutely check this out if you're into thrash metal or black metal or long songs. You know, yeah, great stuff. Well, got back from a bathroom break and I'm at 55 minutes. Gonna try to make these more concise in the future. If you're still here somehow, you are a goddamn saint. Anyway, last CD, Hellwell, Beyond the Boundaries of Sin, came out in 2013, 2012, 2012. This is a project from Mark Shelton from Manila Road, one of my favorite bands of all time. Again, there's Manila Road poster, in case you couldn't tell. One of my favorite bands of all time. Um, Amazing songwriter, guitarist, great vocalist as well. This is basically like Manila Road with a keyboard player. Mostly organ kind of sounds on here. Um, if you want to hear more about this album, check out Heavy Metallurgy did an album club episode on it, say maybe 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. 3, 4, I don't know. Probably back in August, September. Um, Fantastic album. I've actually only heard this once, but this was the only copy that was for sale in Canada on Discogs, and it was cheap. So there was no way I wasn't going to buy it. Um, you know, you got the typical liner notes and lyrics and stuff in here. Um, yeah, if you're a big fan of Manila Road and you haven't checked this out, absolutely do. If you're a fan of just heavy metal, I mean, this is dark. Um, it's kind of thrashy in spots. It's kind of gothic in spots. Um, but mostly it's just straight up great 80s inspired epic heavy metal. Um, Maybe not quite as I mean Manila Road always had that big like anthemic, not anthemic, that's the wrong word. Man, not I'm not good at talking about music. I'm better at listening to it and playing it. I am at talking about it, but if you haven't heard these guys, go listen to Manila Road first. Crystal Logic or Mystification or The Deluge or Open the Gates, and then check this out after you're done with that. Manila Road is an absolute mandatory band for any metalhead. At least check them out. You may not love them, you might hate them, but you know, you gotta at least check them out. So, okay, one last thing here. Um, Trying to keep it under a freaking hour here. Uh, I believe Frosty, Celtic Frosty, uh, or Daryl had mentioned this show on the movie discussion page on the Heavy Metallurgy Discord, which I'm on. I'm not on it all the time, but I try to get on there when I can. Great, great community, man. It's overwhelming. As soon as I start going on there, it's like I gotta pull myself back, or I just end up spending an entire day on there. It's way too easy. But he mentioned this show, uh, Boardwalk Empire, man. and I had heard of it before. I had just finished watching The Sopranos, um, 3, 4 months ago, maybe more at this point. I don't remember exactly, but I decided, I didn't have a subscription to Crave anymore up here in Canada. It's kind of expensive. It's one of the more expensive streaming services, and I got this for like $50, the entire, you know, 5 seasons. So it's on DVD, so it's not the most amazing visual quality of all time, but it's a show set in the 20s, man. I mean, do you need it in 4K? I don't know. I don't personally. This was great. I thought this entire show was pretty damn great. It's kind of slow in spots. Steve Buscemi is the lead, and man, he actually plays a pretty laid back character for most of this. He has his moments here and there where he gets heated, but most of the other characters take kind of the big fiery exuberant roles in this. Um, but overall it just works really well. And as far as like shows set in this time period, like the 20s, 30s in the US especially, um, there's not a lot out there. I mean, I've seen a couple movies. Um, oh man, I'm totally blanking on the name of that one. Well, there you go. But Miller's Crossing is another one. Oh man, it's bugging me. Oh well. Anyway, maybe I'll put the name in the description, but I gotta shut the hell up because I've been on here for more than an hour, which is absurd. I don't expect anyone to have watched this far. If you somehow made it through all this, you're a sucker for punishment, man. I don't know. I don't know. Something wrong with you. You gotta be careful. But yeah. Uh, I guess I'll have something up within a week. We'll see what it is. Um, it's not going to be this long. It will not be. So yeah, thanks for watching. Um, thanks for watching, even if you just watched 5 minutes of this. And if you liked that 5 minutes, hey, hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm on Instagram. I never post anything. I I gotta get on Instagram more. Anyway, yeah, that's it for now. So, till next time, take care and you know, listen to music. It's good. It's good stuff. I like it. You probably do too, if you're still here. If you're still here and you don't like music, I don't know, man. I don't know.